Hey, BYHYU. We've made it to episode 100 of Build Your House Yourself University. I'm Michelle Nelson, your host and fellow student, and together we'll learn the basics of home design and construction and demystify the building process so we can build quality dream homes with or without a general contractor. To commemorate our 100th episode, I want to give you some of my favorite home building and design tips that I've learned over the past 2 years of this podcast. I've learned so much, but these are some of the most relevant things. We'll go over 50 tips in this week's mini lesson, but since this is the 100th episode, it only makes sense that I give you a list of 100 of the most important pieces of home building knowledge that I've gained. So we'll go over 50 tips today, and I'll send you 50 more tips and tricks if you email me. Email me at info@byhyu.com. That's info@byhyu.com. All you have to do is type in the number 100 in the subject line, and as a thank you for helping me get to episode 100, I'll send you a PDF of a list of 50 bonus tips, plus the 50 tips that we'll go over today, so you won't even have to take any notes while listening. You'll end up with a list of 100 of my favorite bits of building information. Now, don't worry about me spamming you. I wouldn't do that. So just email me at info@byhyu.com and put the number 100 in the subject line, and I'll send you the list of my 100 favorite home building and design tips. Before we get to our first 50 tips, I want to sincerely thank you. Thank you for your loyalty and your support and for encouraging me to keep this podcast going. Thanks for your awesome reviews and your kind emails. I especially want to thank you for sharing this show with friends and family and coworkers by text, email, and on social media. You are the reason this show is doing so well. Since I'm not great with social media, I've been counting on you to spread the word about the podcast, and you've done that. So thank you so much. As we move forward in the podcast, I'll continue to give you quick tips, mini lessons, and interviews that will help make you a more informed consumer. But when I actually break ground on my project, and I hope to be doing that soon, I'll be doing more regular project updates. I'll tell you what materials, appliances, fixtures, and methods I've decided on and why. Well, thank you again for all that you've done to help me over the past 2 years. Let's get right into those first 50 most relevant home building tips. Number 1, owner builders should get builder's risk insurance and general liability insurance before you start construction. Builder's risk insurance, also called course of construction insurance, covers loss or damage to the house under construction, as well as loss or damage to any of the materials or equipment used on the project. General liability insurance is to safeguard the owner builder or builder against the risks of potential lawsuits over accidents, injuries, and illnesses that occur on the job site. Number 2, not all houses need input from a structural engineer, but definitely consult a structural engineer if you have a challenging home site, such as a steep lot or one with unstable soil, or a house plan that includes a large open space, such as a 2-story great room. Some states need a stamp of approval from a structural engineer or architect on all house plans. Number 3, this next tip has to do with outdoor spaces. Plan for a 6x6 foot outdoor space if you want enough room for a small bistro table and 2 chairs, or a large outdoor chair and a side table. Spaces at least 12 by 14 feet will work for a longer rectangular dining table and chairs. Outdoor living rooms are comfortable in spaces around 16 by 16 feet. Number 4, strengthen the structural frame of your house by creating a continuous load path within your house. Use a system of metal connectors, bolts, fasteners, and shear walls to connect the structural frame of the house together. A continuous load path is like a chain that ties each level of the house together, from roof to foundation. That way, storms, earthquakes, and high winds are less likely to cause damage to the structure of the house. Products from Simpson Strong Tie are the most often recommended. Number 5, if you want professional help building your house, but don't want the traditional arrangement of a builder and homeowner, consider hiring a project or construction manager, a site supervisor, or consultant. They typically charge 5 to 17.5% of the cost of construction, or $35 to $100 per hour. You can interview architects, retired or working general contractors, framing carpenters, or other subcontractors for the position. Number 6, it's usually easier to first find a plot of land in a neighborhood you like and then choose a house design that fits that lot. However, if you've fallen in love with a particular house design and you want few, if any, changes, you'll have to search for the lot that fits the dimensions and design features of that house plan. It's more difficult that way, but it can be done. Number 7, although builders often get a builder's discount on materials, appliances, and fixtures, they don't always pass that discount on to homeowners. If you're acting as owner-builder, many companies and suppliers will give you a builder's discount. Just ask. Number 8, Passive House is a strict voluntary building standard of energy-efficient construction that results in homes that require very little energy for heating and cooling. Passive houses achieve their energy efficiency by using high levels of insulation, optimally orienting the house toward the sun, and incorporating airtight design. Number 9, even if you don't go to the extreme of building a passive house, get your house designed, tested, and scored by a home energy rating company. HERS, which stands for Home Energy Rating System, is the nationally recognized system for inspecting and calculating a home's energy performance. The standard new house will score 100. You want a lower score. The lower the HERS score, the more energy efficient the house. Number 10, insist that your HVAC system is sized according to a manual J calculation, not the inaccurate rule of thumb of tons per square foot. That's what many old school HVAC contractors will often use, but insist on the manual J. Number 11, the average sized single-family home built by a general contractor takes an average of 8 months to go from permit to completion. About 6 months of that time is actual construction. Houses built by owner builders require, on average, 11.5 months. Number 12, have 4-prong outlets installed in areas where you typically plug in lots of electrical devices, such as near your bedside tables and near sinks and vanities in the bathrooms. Number 13, have a dedicated Christmas or holiday electrical circuit plus light switch that controls lights for your Christmas trees, garland, mantles, and any outside lights you wish to display during the holidays. 14, have a hot water recirculating pump installed. This small motor keeps hot water circulating in the pipes at all times, so you can have instant hot water at your faucets, no matter how far away you are from the water heater. This saves gallons of water that would ordinarily be wasted while waiting for hot water. Number 15, have your home hardwired with Cat 6 Ethernet cable for faster, more secure internet connections. Even if you plan on using wireless internet for your mobile devices, it's easy and recommended to have Cat 6 installed too for those fancy streaming TVs, for video games, and other more permanent devices that you need an internet connection for. Number 16, take photos and/or video of the different phases of construction during the home building process. This will serve as a visual record to refer back to if in the future there are any questions about where pipes and wires are, or about what materials and methods were used in building the house. This visual diary will also encourage contractors to do a good job, since there'll be a record of their work. Number 17, ask your electrician to put charging stations in for your family and guests. Put them in several areas of the home. Think about areas like the kitchen or pantry, the mudroom, the living room, and select bedrooms. Number 18, even if you decide to go with traditional stick framing instead of advanced framing, request 2 stud corners, also called California corners. California corners are used in advanced framing to allow more insulation to be added to the corners of the house. Traditional framing uses 3 studs in the corners of a house, which means the corners are filled mostly with wood instead of insulation. This creates a thermal bridge where unwanted heat loss can occur. Number 19, to save money, build up, not out. A 2 or 3 story house typically costs less than a 1-story house of the same square footage. That's because the roof and foundation are expensive line items, and they're smaller and therefore less expensive when you have a multi-story house. Number 20, place your house closer to the street to cut down on costs for the driveway and front yard landscaping, which is usually more elaborate and more expensive than backyard landscaping. 21, centralize your plumbing as much as reasonably possible. Design your house so plumbing is clustered fairly close together or back to back. Areas such as the kitchen, laundry room, and bathrooms should be grouped together. This reduces the cost of running costly pipes all over the house. And if you're building a 2 or 3 story house, upper level bathrooms should be stacked above first floor bathrooms or the kitchen, so plumbing can be connected along the same wall. Number 22, design bedrooms that you plan to carpet with a 12-foot width. So make the bedrooms 12 by 13 or 12 by 15, for example. Carpet comes in 12-foot rolls, so designing rooms with 12-foot widths makes more sense than having bedrooms that are 11 by 8 inches or 13 feet wide. With a 12-foot wide room, you'll have fewer carpet seams and waste, which will save you money. Number 23, when asking subcontractors to bid on your project, ask them to look at your plans with a critical eye and make notes and suggestions about where you could save money without significantly compromising quality. If you're going to use a general contractor, you can ask those in the running for your job to do the same thing. Those suggestions can help you modify your plans to save money. Number 24, if you plan to act as an owner-builder, do not give your subcontractors a deposit before they begin work. If they say they need money for materials, ask them what they need and you purchase the materials yourself. In general, subs should be paid in thirds. After the first third of the work is complete, after the second third is complete, and after the last third of their work is complete and inspections passed. 25. Ask online and local suppliers to match lower prices that you find with other online or local suppliers. Number 26. If you're going with asphalt roof shingles, like most homeowners do, forego cheaper, less durable 3-tab shingles, since they could lower the value of your house. Spend a little extra for durable architectural asphalt shingles. Number 27. Call subcontractors about a week before they're scheduled to be on your job site, and again the day before they're scheduled. Confirm that workers will be on site at the scheduled time and ask what work they need to be complete before they begin their part of the project. With that information, go to the subs that are already on site and confirm that those tasks will be finished before the next scheduled sub arrives. Number 28. Invite all major subs to a pre-construction group meeting to discuss your project and any conflicts or problems they anticipate. Suggesting a working lunch or dinner, your treat, will improve your chances of them showing up for the group meeting. Number 29. When a subcontractor has completed his work, including punch list items, and the final inspection has been passed, make sure you get a signed, unconditional final lien waiver or lien release. Get it at the same time you give the final payment. That waiver generally protects the homeowner from the subcontractor placing a lien or claim on your property for unpaid debt. Number 30. Go to open houses, model homes, and even homes of your friends and family to see how the size of the homes feel to you. Does a 1,500 square foot home or a 3,500 square foot home feel more like you? Or maybe it should be something in between. Visit houses of various sizes and see what size house feels too big or too cramped. Go into bedrooms and figure out what size you want for your guest and master bedrooms. 31. Make kitchen walkways at least 42 inches wide for a one-cook kitchen, or at least 48 inches for a kitchen with more than one cook. Number 32. Choose a quiet dishwasher that is 45 decimals or less, especially if you entertain and hang out in or around your kitchen after meals. Number 33. Choose range hoods that are 6 inches wider than your range and make sure it vents outdoors. Avoid downdraft hoods that ventilate by pulling cooking fumes and smoke downward instead of sucking smoke and steam upward. According to Consumer Reports, downdraft hoods have been unimpressive when tested. 34. Avoid lower cabinets because they're difficult to access. Instead, choose drawers that you can easily pull out instead of doors for base cabinetry. Number 35. Don't assume that custom cabinets are significantly more expensive than semi-custom cabinets. Get estimates for both if you're considering either. Sometimes custom cabinets are about the same price, and occasionally they're cheaper than semi-custom cabinets. 36. Choose materials with high R values and low U values for greater energy efficiency. 37. Use mineral wool or fiberglass insulation around interior rooms to help with soundproofing. Another thing that will help with soundproofing is using solid core doors instead of hollow doors. Number 38. Spray foam insulation can fill up gaps and small holes in the structure of your house, so the foam is not only a good thermal insulation, it's also a good air barrier, which helps in building a tight building envelope. Number 39. Although structural insulated panels and insulated concrete forms are great products to build your house, be cautious of choosing them if they're uncommon in your region. That's because subcontractors will be hesitant to build on a project using unfamiliar structural materials, and they're likely to charge you a premium if they do work on your house. Number 40. If you're going with a traditional, conventional water heater, look for one that has an insulated tank. This will significantly reduce both standby heat losses and annual operating costs. Look for models with tanks that have an R value of R12 to R25. Number 41. Choosing a tankless water heater over a conventional water heater will give you endless but not instant hot water unless you do one of two things. Number 1, move the tankless water heater closer to the faucet, or number 2, install a recirculating system. 42. Only choose natural stone or concrete countertops if you're willing to seal them about once a year. Go with quartz if you want a truly maintenance-free countertop. Number 43. If you want solid hardwood floors for your new house, look for high-quality floors that are at least 3/4 of an inch thick. Number 44. Choose a medium to light medium tone for your flooring. It's classic and it shows much less dirt than very light or very dark wood flooring. Number 45. Induction cooking provides fast, consistent, precise heat control, plus great energy efficiency. 46. Consider factory-made panelized wall panels for the structure of your new house. These wall units are transported from the factory to your home site, sometimes with floor and roof trusses, and those components are constructed into a house. Because all the units of the panelized home are constructed in a controlled factory setting away from adverse weather conditions, panelized units are often more precisely constructed, meaning walls are straighter and more plumb. Number 47. Casement windows are, in general, the most energy efficient style of window. Plus, they're great if you have a view and if you want a window over your kitchen sink, because they're easier to open than double hung or single hung windows. Number 48, zero energy houses, which produce as much energy as they use, are being built more and more by mainstream homeowners and builders. But if you're not ready to invest in solar panels or other energy producing systems that are required for zero energy homes, you can build an airtight, highly insulated, energy efficient, zero energy ready home and then purchase your solar panels in the future. Number 49, choose windows with a low solar heat gain coefficient if you live in warmer climates, and choose windows with a high solar heat gain coefficient if you live in a cold climate. Choose low E windows no matter what climate you live in. And number 50, according to energy.gov, you can save as much as 10% a year on heating and cooling by simply turning your thermostat back 7 to 10 degrees for 8 hours a day. With programmable thermostats, like those from Nest or Honeywell, you can easily set up a program that will automatically lower your thermostat temperature while your family is away at school or work, or at night while you sleep. All right, those are 50 of my favorite home building and design tidbits. To get 50 more, just email me at info@byhyu.com. That's info@byhyu.com. And then type the number 100 in the subject line. I'll send you a PDF of the 50 bonus tips plus the 50 tips that we just covered. And I won't spam you, I promise. Thank you so much for joining me this week. And thanks again to all of you who listen regularly. I really appreciate you. I hope you come back next time for the next episode of Build Your House Yourself University. BYHYU. Please remember that the purpose of this podcast is simply to educate and inform. It's not a substitute for professional advice. The information that you hear is based only on the opinions, research, and experiences of my guests and myself. That information might be incomplete, it's subject to change, and it may not apply to your project. In addition, building codes and requirements vary from region to region, so always consult a professional about specific recommendations for your home.